I'm thinking back on all those times when I felt closed up from all that I could become, eager but too scared to climb. Wanted to please my friends, but it felt like the end of myself. I was shut down and all drained out. I was lost, so I had to change. Yeah, I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turned on me. But now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am. This is who I am now. No matter what they're saying, this is who I am. This is who I am now. They think that I have lost my mind, that I'm not being true, but they don't have a clue. 'Cause this is me when I cut out all the shallowness and everything I suppressed to fit in a small frame. But I won't play your game anymore, so I had to change.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new to my channel, I am Mommy Lala. We would love to engage with you all, so please feel free to put your questions and comments on Mommy Guide Inc.'s Facebook page or Mommy Guide Inc.'s YouTube channel. Just don't forget to be respectful at all times and put a Q before each question so we can easily see it. In today's episode, we will focus on podcasting. Yes, but why? Because the future of podcasting is filled with so much excitement and innovation. There are about 2 million podcasts registered on Google alone. Okay, and there are other distributors of podcasts apart from Google, like Apple, of course, and Spotify. And so, as the trend continues to grow, now is the best time for you to actually try this platform out for size. Again, our guest for tonight is Steve Worthy. Steve is also a podcasting veteran. He began in 2007 with By Husbands for Husbands, a podcast helping entrepreneurial husbands balance work and family. As a podcast leadership coach, Steve teaches both novice and experienced podcasters how to live stream with authority through his Podcasters Live Academy. His current podcasts include two. The first one being Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy. This is a podcast dedicated to helping retail leaders improve their communication and grow their leadership to advance their careers. Steve firmly believes that a retail leader's decision will impact everyone, every day, all over the world. And of course, Podcasters Live, where I am a proud member of, is a YouTube channel and a podcast founded by and hosted by Steve. Through the weekly live stream, he features podcasters and other podcast industry experts. Steve established this platform for the new and established podcasts to engage live with their audience while teaching them the proper techniques to produce an engaging live stream. And so, without further ado, let's all welcome first time on Mommy Guide Inc., Steve Worthy. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
Oh,
Oh my
good
gosh,
morning to
I'm
you.
excited.
I'm good,
I'm
Steve.
excited.
How are you?
I'm
Yes,
so excited.
me too, Steve. I've been wanting to have Steve on the show for quite a while now, guys. But as you know, Steve lives on the other side of the world, right? So it's
Just a
quite
little bit.
hard to
Just a little
have,
bit.
Steve Worthy's schedule fixed, all right, or matched with mine. All right. So, Steve, before we actually start, let's just look at some of the comments. Okay, the
Yeah.
comment is blowing up right now. Good evening, everyone, from Tina One Kenobi. Good evening, and welcome to Mommy Guide stream tonight. Yes, thank you so much, Tina. And of course, our guest is saying, let's do this. I'm so excited to be with Lala. And so are we, Steve. All right. Yes, interesting topic tonight from Tina. All right. So everybody's saying hi to everybody. And we have Victor. This is Victor, Basic Networks and Streaming. Ha, I'm up and ready. I know you're on your way to ECAM event in San Diego. Have a safe
Oh,
trip, Sishang Victor. And of course, we have Roy. Hey, Stephen Lala from Tech
Roy.
Troublemaker. Good morning, good morning. All right, and we have Giga Art, of course. Giga Art from Australia. Good morning, sis. I love your post on OVMG. Thank you, sis Tina. What's going on? All right, everybody saying hi to everybody. All right. So again, thank you so much, guys. If you are on the chat, okay, I will be giving out 1050 peso Gcash at the end of or near the end of the show. So please, okay, if you are not here till the end, then you cannot join. So you have to be in the comments and actively participate. Okay, tonight. Okay, April, magandang gabi, good evening. All right. So everybody saying hi to you.
Hey.
Okay, and everybody else in that chat. Bless Timony, Stephen Lala. This is going to be good. Hello. All right. Okay, so let's start, Steve. Okay, so thank
Yes.
you for bearing with me, just saying hi to everybody in the chat. All
That's
right, so we
fine.
focus on our topic, which is podcasting. All right, so first and foremost, Steve, the basic question, okay, because a lot
Yeah.
of, my viewers are not yet familiar, okay,
Hmm.
exactly what does they keep hearing about podcasts because I've been trying to tell them to please follow and like my podcast. All right, download my podcast. But what is a podcast, Steve, and how does it differ from what we're doing right now? Being live, going live, or doing live stream on YouTube.
Yeah. Great question. That's actually a question I typically ask all of my guests. So I'm glad that you gave me an opportunity to answer it. So there's two rules of thoughts when they think about a podcast or to think about a podcast. The initial one was when you talked about when I started doing By Husbands for Husbands. That was we actually did that on this platform called Blog Talk Radio, where it was like a phone in type of show. So myself and my host, co-host, and then guests would phone in, and then we would actually be on the radio. And then my boss came to us and said, "Well, hey, you guys should think about doing this on a podcast." And we were like, "What's a podcast?" Very similar to what you just asked me. And what we realized was that it is a on-demand, or back then in 2007, it is an on-demand file or our RSS feed, which is real simple syndication. And what it is, it's just a audio file that actually has all of your content that people will typically pull through on demand, and you would listen to it. So when Apple or back then it was just really just Apple, they would actually pull your audio file and then create an on-demand opportunity for people to listen to it. So that is really what the essence of a podcast started out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a podcast, I can't tell somebody if they say, "Oh my gosh, I just listened to this podcast on YouTube." I can't really tell them that they're wrong because they're actually listening to something on demand when they really wanted to. So the actual concept of a podcast initially was audio only, and
Mm-hmm.
I still kind of lean to that a little bit. Was audio only first, and then now it's actually morphed into live streams and things of that sort as well too. But I kind of tend to the audio first piece because it is a listening experience first. And then now we actually have live stream podcasts that you can actually do because that's also a listening experience as well.
All right. So eventually it has evolved from the original
Yeah,
concept of audio on demand, meaning you can actually listen to it anywhere, anytime, right?
correct.
All
Correct.
right. So, but you are doing both right now, right, Steve?
I am actually doing both. I'm doing the audio and I'm doing the live stream. And so, the live stream for me is about the engagement. So when you do an audio podcast, one of the big things that everybody talks about is like, oh my gosh, I don't get any feedback. No one leaves me like ratings and reviews. And I don't know if Lala actually likes my content. And so we started Podcasters Live to actually help podcasters kind of create that community and get that engagement with their audience. So that way they can get some feedback. They may even get some ideas for content. But I think it's important that you kind of have both so that way you can kind of grow your audience.
All right. So moving forward,
Yeah.
Steve, all right. So now we know about what podcast is. So guys, all right. So if you're considering, but you don't really know what exactly podcasting means, so there. Okay. Steve Worthy has unpacked it for us. All right. So you can actually do just audio only, or you can do what we're doing right now, because I will actually repurpose this into a podcast. Right. All right. So now, Steve, who can podcast? Can anybody podcast?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, anybody couldn't podcast, but should they? Right. I think there are certain things that somebody should have. I think you should be passionate about it. A certain topic. If there's something that you are really passionate about, here's the thing about a podcast that I really
Mhm.
love about it is that it's mine. Right? There are so many things that we have in our lives, whether it's work, it may be somebody else's, company. It may be something that we watch on TV. That's somebody else's production. But your podcast is yours, right? I create the content, I edit it, I come up with the ideas, I put it out. So this is yours. And when you really kind of grasp that idea that a podcast is really an kind of an outcropping of who you are, then really anybody can do it. However, when you think about a podcast, you have to think about, why do you want to do the podcast? Are you using it to actually help grow a different side of your business? Is there something that you're really passionate about that you want more people to know about? Right. So once you understand the why behind your podcast, and I think that will help determine whether or not you want to actually do this. The other thing is to try it out, right? The barrier to start a podcast is extremely low. You can do it on your phone. I was with Tech Troublemaker. We did one on Anchor, right? We did a live demo. It's super easy to start. But here's the other side of the podcast that I want people to understand. Like, if you're really serious about it, like,
Mhm.
it's a long-term game. It's not like for the faint of heart, because there is some work that goes into it with editing and all these things. But man, if you have a passion for it and you really have something that you want people to hear about, like what you're doing right now, Mommy Lala, right? You're crafting and turning that into a podcast, right? People want to listen to that. There is an audience for your podcast. 2.5 million podcasts out there. There's probably about 2 million different topics that are out there, right?
Wow.
And what I say by that is that, even though, let's say I talk about sports, right? The way that I talk about sports may be completely different than the way, say, Tech Troublemaker will talk about sports. So now those are two unique podcasts. Just because we're talking about sports doesn't mean that they're actually the same thing. So I think that's where the customization and understanding who you are kind of comes into play.
All right. Thank you so much about that, Steve. So let's reiterate, guys. So anybody. All right. So anybody can do podcasts. As Steve said, okay, you don't really need much gear or a lot of gears. So one of the things that actually, hurdled, okay, me in starting my own
Yeah.
podcast, Steve, and Steve knows this, all right, because I'm also in his group, is I felt that I didn't have the right microphone. I
Oh,
didn't know the tech side of like how to edit a podcast and stuff like that. But Steve kept saying, no, you start with your phone. You can always start with a phone, right? So again, okay, so first and foremost, topic, right? If you are passionate about something, then
mhm.
probably that's the best way to start, because as Steve said, this is okay, a long-term game. Right? So I said it's not for the faint of heart. Actually, guys, the reason I actually finally started my podcast, which I've been dreaming for the longest time, is because of that stream that Steve was actually talking about when he
Mm.
was on another dear friend of mine, Tech Troublemaker's stream, and they were talking about podcasts. I was there. And I basically, took all the notes there. So if you really also want to start, you can also check that, because that's how I started my own podcast, by watching that stream, because it was super basic, super easy to understand, guys. So from there,
Mhm.
I started by repurposing. All
Excellent,
right.
excellent,
So
excellent.
now that we have Steve here, you can actually ask him. Okay, guys, please
Ask
put them on
away,
the chat.
ask away,
Okay.
ask away.
Yes, that's the way. Now, if you missed that and you want to ask questions about, podcasts, anything about podcasts, okay, hopefully we can ask Steve that right now. All right. So, okay, hi Zen. Of course, when I said bless Timony,
Good morning,
okay, we're
Zan.
talking about Rico. Hello, Rico is another dear content creator friend of ours. All right. Thanks for dropping by, Rico. Okay, and Zan is also saying good morning to you. Okay, so moving on. So you said that it has to be a topic that we're passionate about, right, Steve?
Mhm.
Like probably the reason why you probably started your very own podcast as, husbands,
Yeah,
for husbands, helping
yeah,
husbands, is because you are a husband, right? You are a passionate husband, all right, and you wanted to, and you are into business as well and coaching, right? So you
yeah,
probably wanted to blend or merge those two things, right? And so it worked
yeah,
out for you, right? And I'm into crafting and I love, information, interviewing people. That's why I think my podcast is like conversations with Lala, right? So you can
right.
also start the same with you, okay? But if, for starters, Steve, okay,
Yeah.
so what topics can you like suggest? Okay, for those
Oh,
who are
wow.
like jack of all trades, master of none,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you can just start. So when I got back into podcasting, I started with another podcast. It was called The Worthy Podcast, right? Because I am not creative and I felt like I had a pretty decent last name, and I was still doing executive coaching at the time, and so I just started the podcast and I had an idea. I was talking about executive leadership and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things, and the content was okay, but the audience wasn't right. And so I just started doing it. And then I actually got a coach. I actually got a podcast coach, and he walked me through kind of my career and what I was doing. And the extensive part of my career has been in retail. And the people that I was coaching, probably about 80% were in retail. And he was like, well, do this for me. I want you to come back with 13 topics on retail, and gave me a week. And I came back, Lala. I actually came back with 40. So I came back
Wow.
with 40 topics on retail. And when I did that, it seemed like the skies opened up, the seas parted, and like the birds started chirping, and I found my niche. So I said that to say is that there is something that you are specifically, I think, passionate about. Even though you may have all these different things that you like to do, there probably is one or two that you're passionate about. I would say go ahead and probably start talking about maybe one or two of those topics to get started. You can do
Mm-hmm.
that once you get like an anchor, you can do it for free, but just start talking about it. And honestly, over time, if you're consistent with it, things will start to kind of come clear. The issue that we have, I think a lot of times with podcasters, is that they think like immediately that they actually have to have like their ideal topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we listen to a lot of podcasts, everybody's like sounds so professional and sounds so polished. And man, you don't know that person had been podcasting for 15, 20 years, or 5 years. And the first year, they had no clue what they were wanted to talk about. But year two, they kind of niched down and found their sweet spot. That's why I say this is a long-term game. So just start talking about something that you like, and then understand that over time you'll be able to find a niche and a topic that's really you're gonna be passionate about. Or if you already have it, that passion, go ahead and start talking about it, because somebody's waiting. Somebody's waiting to hear what you have to say.
All right, that's awesome, Steve. So again, guys, so one of the reasons why we can't stop or we can't start, okay, is because we are so lost. Where do we start? Like if
Mm,
somebody will just push me to like which button, okay, which topic,
yeah,
right? So as Steve is saying, okay, just if you are, at a loss, Okay, so write down. Actually, he said he started with 13 but came up with 40, right? And
Mhm.
somewhere along the way, you will find eventually which topics really resonate with you, and then you can move on from there, right? So, guys,
Yeah.
again, if you have questions, okay, so we have another question here from Zan. Okay, Steve, what's three of the best ways to monetize your podcast? Oh, monetization already.
Yeah. I know, right? I know.
We are jumping into the monetization. Okay, but it's okay. Let's do that. Okay. We
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one is to self promote. So if you already have like products to sell, you already have coaching services or a book or something like that. I always think that that's one of the best ways to actually do it. So with retail leadership with Steve Worthy, that's what we do. We use that, platform. We monetize in that way. So with retail leadership with Steve Worthy, if I get a coaching client from retail leadership, which I have, I have that client has paid for every aspect of my podcast for the entire year, whether it's the hosting, all of the, artwork, everything. And so that's really one way to actually go ahead and do it. Also, you can get sponsors. Here's the one thing that I think about with sponsors. Everybody think when you say sponsors, you think about Nike or somebody like that to sponsor your show, or somebody like real big, or Sony. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it has to be that. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. It could be. So let's say you have a podcast that is very niche, right? And it's something that is very specific to, let's just say it's around, I'll give you an example. Um, One of my good friends, she's actually in our group, Podcasters Live group, Susie Butchers. She has a podcast and it's called The Casual Birder. And she's
Mm-hmm.
over in the UK, and she actually talks about bird watching, right? That is, and you want to talk about niche, like that is as niche as it can get. And
Exactly.
you know,
Bird
so
watching. Yes.
we're watching, and she talks about it, and it's a super well produced show. But what she's been trying to do from a monetization sponsorship standpoint is to get, a binocular company to actually sponsor her show, right? Because that's part of her craft is actually using binoculars. So we start to talk about sponsorship. Think about something that you are about your topic, or something that you use a lot, and actually think about it. So with Podcasters Live, we are in the process of working with podcast apps. So instead of Spotify and Apple, there are like 50 or 60 different apps that you can listen to your podcast on. And so we're working with those to actually sponsor our live stream, and also our audio podcast when that actually comes out in May. And then
Wow.
the third one, when you just think about monetization, right? I think if you start to think about what we're doing now with YouTube. So when someone does a super chat and things along that line, you can actually go ahead and do like a buy me a coffee. So if you wanted to put it in your show notes, if you wanted to talk about it when you do your introduction, or as you're talking about, or mid roll, you can actually say, hey, my name's Xander Man. And if you're really getting value out of this content, hey, if you want to support what we're trying to do, just go to buy me a coffee and do a quick donation. So there are certain ways that you can do that within your podcast as well, to help kind of monetize that process as well. Hopefully that answers your question.
Wow, that's amazing. I thought, Steve, like, you need like so many thousand subscribers, so many,
No,
watch hours, just like on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever. So, no. Okay,
no, you
immediately
don't.
you can
That is the
actually get monetized this way, right? So you talked about, getting sponsors, probable, possibly clients based on, what you talk about. And the last one was that of, setting up something like, buy me a coffee, which I actually had prior to being monetized. Okay. So that's what I also did, right? People,
there you
if
go.
they really like what they see or what they're listening to, they can be very generous also, with buying you a coffee. In my case, it was buy me a pizza because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
So I said, buy me a pizza, right? So for some people, it's
yeah,
buy me whatever, right? So there. So you don't need,
yeah.
okay, to have
Okay.
those metrics in place, right, Steve?
Yeah, can I one thing that I want to
Mm-hmm.
I want to demystify real quick with podcasting and sponsorship, because there are the top 1% of podcasters. They do, you know, 100,000 downloads or something like that per episode, which is
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. The
Wow.
majority of podcasts, right? So please understand this: the majority of podcasts, they will range between 100 to 150 downloads per episode, right? But there. So understand that. So I think we see the Joe Rogans of the world and all these other guys and gals that are out there, and they're getting these super crazy download numbers. You have to understand that they already started with a following, and Hollywood and all these other things, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's easier for them. But the regular guy and gal, they're averaging probably about 100 to 150 downloads per episode. And that doesn't sound like much. But here's the thing. Think about this. What if you were given a conference? What if you were given a talk and you were almost guaranteed to have 150 people in your audience?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you feel excited about that? So
Yes, of
I
course.
think we have to think about the context of what we're doing differently, right? If I had 150 people willing to listen to me talk about retail leadership, man, I would be stoked. I would be excited. But we think about it and we like, oh my gosh, that's only 150 downloads. That's 150 people that are actually listening to your stuff. So please understand that. So I just wanted to
Exactly.
kind of demystify that a little bit and give people some hope when they see if they don't feel like they're getting those download numbers.
Exactly. So I will not be discouraged, okay? Because I have right now about 80 downloads combined for
Yeah,
all my 5 podcasts out there. But I just started about 2 weeks ago, but still. All right.
that's great.
So,
That's
guys, so
great.
support me. Listen
That's
to my
great.
podcast. All
That's
right. And
great to hear.
also, Steve.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. That is very encouraging. If you look at it like the glass half empty or half full, right? So you
Yes.
have to think, differently about it so that you'll also get encouraged. All right. So let's go back to the chat a little bit. So
Yeah,
again, okay,
absolutely.
Steve's podcasts are in the chat. Okay, so please, if you've not yet subscribed to his Facebook or YouTube channel, okay, for Podcasters Live, it's there in the chat, so you can easily, click on that and it will bring you to his YouTube channel or his Facebook page. All right, so you can never succeed at what you do if you never start. Okay, so that's Tech
100%.
Troublemaker. All right.
100%.
And Edmund Constantino, that's simply Lorenzo, is actually wanting to start his own podcast. And it's a
Good.
topic that is a little bit, difficult to actually talk about, but I know that it will really, it has a very niche, as Steve already said. Okay,
Mhm.
we have a friend who's like, talk about bird watching, right? So if you talk about niche, that's very, very niche, guys. So don't be scared. Just start, okay? Just like Tech Troublemaker is saying here. All right. Again,
Mhm.
this is the link, okay, for Steve's Podcasters Live on YouTube. Okay, so Mono and News is saying you have to give it a try rather than saying no. Yes,
100%.
exactly, Mono
100%.
and News. All right. So do you
And
make a
Lala
pitch?
and
Yes, yes,
Lala,
Steve.
Susie's podcast, the bird watching podcast, she has over 120,000 downloads.
Wow.
Like, total, like so far. So I
Wow.
think she has 100 episodes. So you start to think about your topic and you're like, oh my gosh, no one's gonna want to listen to this. Who wants there's always an audience. I just wanted to put that out there. So
Exactly. And I was surprised, Steve. It's like, though I was thinking, I homeschooling would be the one that most people would listen to, but in my
mm,
podcast, it's about sleep. So when I
yeah,
talk about Christina Grabnik is about sleep, that is the one's like the most number of downloads. Or so I said, oh, okay. I
right.
so I really don't know yet, what people are gonna listen to. Maybe it's not the same thing that I like, okay, but what they
Correct.
like. All right, so we just need to find that out. But if
Agreed.
we won't be able to do so unless we actually start. All right. So Tina is asking Steve, do you
Ah,
make a
mhm.
pitch for potential sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing with that is that's a great question. So I want you to think about it in this context with your podcast. It's not just about your podcast, but it's also about your total reach as a brand. So how many people are following you on Instagram? Do you have a Facebook group, right? So I'm just saying, if you do, if you
Mm-hmm.
have these things, great, right? Um, how about LinkedIn, right? So when you start to think about the totality of your brand, it's not just your actual podcast, because your podcast is going to, once again, it's an extension of yourself. So hopefully, if you do have a podcast, you're putting in it, and you're marketing it on these other platforms that you actually have as well. So when you think about the reach, it's not just what they're going to be listening to, it's also what people are going to actually be gravitating to your podcast from all these different social media platforms as well. So if you want to start to pitch it, pitch the totality of your brand, not just the podcast, right? Because it's about reach. I also would talk about, if you're going to pitch, typically you want to talk about, if there's a sponsorship piece, you're going to talk about it at the beginning. It's called pre-roll. There is pre-roll,
Oh.
mid-roll, end-roll, right?
Mm-hmm,
So the
mm-hmm.
pre-roll is the premium, right? Because everybody's listening at the very beginning. So that's where we start talking about sponsorship or pitching it. If you really like the sponsor, like, you want them to have that premium spot. It's almost like at the Super Bowl, right? The cost of, I think, the ads of the Super Bowl are more expensive in the first quarter. This I'm speaking from an American standpoint. My bad.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
you know, they're more expensive at the beginning of the game than they are near the tail end of the game. Very similar to
Mm.
your podcast. So think about it from a pre-roll piece, where you're going to actually be able to provide that spot for them, and you can talk about it as well. Yeah. So I think those are some of the things. And then also, you know, I would also think about, if you're going to pitch a specific sponsor, I would actually come up with maybe a series of topics around whatever it is that they do and how it relates to your podcast. Because now that's some exclusive content that either they can actually put on their website as well, but it also helps you, because now you're providing them, with some exclusive content that actually also correlates with whatever your topic is as well.
That's an awesome idea. You gave me another idea, Steve. All right, do a series of topics and then, get a sponsor exclusive for that. It doesn't have to be, for your whole, podcast, but maybe just a series. That's great. Ah, I love it.
Mhm.
All right, thank you about that, Steve. Okay, so Zan is saying great advice. Thank you, Steve. Excellent monetization strategies. Again, okay, since we already started with monetization, and maybe this
Yeah,
is what's gonna inspire you, all right, to actually
yeah,
hop on
yeah,
board and join. How many now in total, more or less 2.5 million, Steve?
yeah,
2.5
yeah. But
million,
here's the
right?
thing too with that number, and this is going to help a lot of people out. This is going to help a lot of people out. That's 2.5 million, right, podcasts. Let's just use that number.
Mm-hmm.
However, only about 36 to 40% of those podcasts are active. Active meaning that they have produced a podcast in the last 7 to 10 days. That's not Steve's standards. Those are standards that I get from my host provider, which is Buzzsprout, and they're super
Mm-hmm.
ingrained into the industry. So think about that. 2.5 million podcasts that are out there, but there is only about 30-40% that are active. So even though that number may seem daunting, the 2.5 million, break that down. Now there's only about 700 to 800,000 podcasts that are truly active out there in the podcast sphere. So that narrows your market and your niche even more. So you have to take that number may initially seem big, but when you break it down to people who are actively podcasting, it's a completely different story.
All right. So, guys, this is the perfect time, the perfect place, okay, for you guys to start your podcast. All right. Even if you look on YouTube right now, it's like everybody's talking about podcast, right? So everybody seems to be, interested in this because they see the growth, right? So now, before it
Mhm.
actually blows up, right, beyond, proportions, this is the perfect time, okay? So there's
Oh,
just small players or very little players yet, okay, or still, okay? So it's
oh,
perfect, perfect.
100%. Hey, a lot podcasting. So over here in the States, we go through kindergarten to 12th grade, and then after
Mm-hmm.
12th grade, you go to college,
Yeah, same
right? And
here,
so,
same.
yeah, same here. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if I had to tell you what grade podcasting is in. Everybody will think that it's probably like in the 10th grade or something like that. It is probably in like the 5th grade, 5th or 6th grade, if that. It hasn't even gotten to high school yet.
All
When
right.
when we start to talk about its growth potential, it is still small. But here's the thing: you talked about everybody's getting into it. Everybody's getting into it, but not a lot of people are staying because they start to realize that this is work, and that it does require some effort and some time. And then
Mhm.
that's where this idea of what we call pod fade happens. It's
Pod
typically,
fade.
yeah, it's
All
typically
right.
after 7 to 10 episodes where you start to, I think your expectations are kind of mismanaged, and you're like, man, I got 7 episodes. I should have like 10,000 downloads by now. And it's like,
Exactly,
well,
exactly.
it's like, you got to manage your expectations. And so if you don't do that and you have these unrealistic expectations, that's where you start to fall off. And that's where I always talk about just being consistent, being consistent, being consistent. Like you have been super consistent with with your YouTube channel. I mean, oh my gosh, every time I'm on YouTube, you are on YouTube because that's what drives your community. That's what drives your brand is that
Absolutely.
consistency. You can have the greatest thing in the world, but if you're not consistent with talking about it, then no one will hear it and no one will care.
Exactly. And guys, okay. So for you to be consistent, sometimes you need somebody to walk alongside you, right? You were heard Steve mention a while ago that he actually got a coach when he was starting,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So he needed a coach. He knew that, yes, most of the time, there are many, we hear stories about great people starting from nothing without any help, but that's like one out of a million, right?
Yeah.
Possibilities. Okay. But, okay, if you actually do this the right way, okay, find somebody to go alongside you. All right, so you can start your podcast without without blinders. There's actually a path and a way and a plan for you. All right, and that's basically where Steve's group and our group, where I'm a member of, can help you out. All right, so let's talk about Podcasters Live now,
Yeah.
Steve. All right, so what is Podcasters Live?
Yeah. Oh wow. So it started when I was on a podcasting support group in 2020, and it was like international, and we had all these different people, and then four of us kind of broke off into like our own little Zoom call group. And it wasn't anything negative about the group. We
Mm-hmm.
just gravitated towards each other, and we just continued meeting. I was the only American, everybody else was over in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
and we just met every month. And at that same time, I was getting into live streaming with Worthy Retail U and retail leadership. So I fell in love with the whole idea of live streaming, like in late 2020. And then we started consistently meeting. I said, man, this should be a podcast. Like this right here, podcasters talking about podcasting. Like there's so much rich information that we're exchanging with each other. Like we need more people to hear this. And I just kept thinking about it until last year, 2021, September 30th, on International Podcast Day. I did a live stream with Scorpio November and Walter Gaynor, and I just loved it. And then Lala, as soon as I hit end from that live stream, Podcasters Lives was born. I knew immediately that I wanted to provide a platform for podcasters to grow their community and their authority through live streaming. And so the logo was formulated within 7 to 10 days. We had the URL. We started a Facebook group. We started doing interviews quickly, and now we're booked up all the way through May. With interviews. Dr. Elo, he's going to be on the show too. I'm excited about him. I think it's April 20th. Who's
Yes, he's
who
here. He's here in the
who's in
chat
the
right
chat,
now. Hi, Dr.
who's
Elo.
in the chat. Yep. He's going to be in there. We've had some amazing guests, some really big time podcasters and
Yes.
people in the podcast
Because they
industry.
see, right, Steve, as you
Yeah,
said, they saw Steve's consistency. All right, in Podcasters Live, as he said, guys, in 7 days, okay, the logo was there, and then you jumped. Everybody was, we know Steve from Steve Worthy Retail You, okay, and then when he started Podcasters Live, we said, yes, I'm definitely in. All right, so he never stopped. Okay, actually, guys, I think it's gonna be next week. Okay, Rob Balasabas is gonna be a guest on Podcasters Live. Again, he's a
Yes.
Filipino Canadian, guys. So I'm so super proud of Rob Balasabas. So I hope that
Yes.
if you've not yet, okay, seen any of Podcasters Live live on YouTube, or not yet subscribed to the actual podcast, I hope that you do so. Okay,
Yeah.
starting now. All right, Steve. So let's go back to the chat a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
basics,
Absolutely.
networks, and streaming. Again, this is Victor drinking now. Again, you need your coffee, Victor, because it's too early. But we truly appreciate that you are here, Victor. Okay, I
We
should
do.
buy me a diet broth. Yes, Christina is doing a diet right now. So she can't buy me a coffee or
That's a
anything. So
good
just buy me a diet broth. Okay, Tina, you can do that. All right.
one. That's
Everybody's like
awesome. That is
laughing.
awesome.
All right, Miss Dr. Rhea, Bono in News. Yes, Miss Lala, baby steps. Yes, just baby steps. And Talk Troublemaker says 150 people taking their valuable time to listen to you. Exactly. So if we
Yeah.
just, focus on, a different mindset, it's not, only 100 people, but rather 100 people are actually listening to me. All right. Maybe even they don't know you, and yet they spend the time to listen to you. All right. Tina is saying nothing good comes easy. Exactly,
No.
exactly. And everybody's agreeing with that. Takeaway, a podcast is an extension of yourself. Indeed. And Cross by Ian, hello, Atino and Kenobi watching Steve with you.
Hey.
Yes, it's Ayin. Yes, Steve knows Ayin because
Hi.
she's also
Yes,
part
I do.
of Podcasters Live as well. All right. So expect hopefully Ayin doing a podcast pretty soon as well. Takeaway pitch, the totality of your brand. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
Tina, for posting all the those nuggets of information. Halftime.
Absolutely.
Basic Network's only roll I know is cinnamon roll. Okay, there are many roles. All right, Norman's Diary. Hello, hello. And of course, we have Dr. Elo, guys. All right, so
Elo. What's up, Dr.
Dr.
Elo?
Elo is also going to be on Sammy's Superstars, virtual conference next week, guys. So please, okay, I actually posted the link yesterday. So please, okay, you can join us there as well. Hello, Norman. Hello, Dr. Elo, Mommy Guide, and everybody else in the chat. Dr. Elo is saying hi. Okay, super big Steve. Oh, there you go. And they say they like your surname because it's worthy. All right, Steve,
Ah, thank
worthy.
you. Thank you.
Exactly. All
Thank
right.
you.
So there, everybody's just saying hi to everybody again. Like what you mentioned earlier, this is a long-term game. Exactly. Okay, but it's gonna be even longer if you don't start now. Right? So better start now. And if you have questions, you don't know how to go about this, where to
Yeah.
start, you can always start by hitting that, join button or hitting that subscribe button, okay, on YouTube to Podcasters Live. Okay, it's in the link. Okay, Nightbot and my moderators are putting it down in the link. And also, you can join our Facebook group. We're also on
Yep.
Facebook as Podcasters Live. All right, hope to see you guys there if you are not yet part of our group. I have a 200 plus video uploads between my channels. I think I'm fading after 12 years. Again, that's what I think what Steve is saying, right?
That's
You need
awesome.
probably somebody, and now you have us, Victor, so you're not gonna fade away because we
He's
will
not
not let
fading.
you do that. All
He's
right?
not fading.
Yes, Victor has been super helpful to Mommy Guide, all right, to Mommy Lala. And to Tino and Kenobi, when we had, audio issues, he was there to help us out. So as I said, the community that we have is
Yes.
really very
Yes.
cooperative and helping. And now let's jump on to podcasting, guys. Okay, Podcasters Live.
Yes.
Hope to see you there. All right. Oftentimes, unrealistic goals just makes it harder to celebrate the small wins. Yeah, so start small.
Oh,
Yes,
100%.
this is superfluous. This is my daughter. She's my daughter.
Oh,
She's in college and she also wants to start her own podcasts. So
excellent.
there you go,
Excellent.
daughter. I hope this inspires you to actually do so. It's more fun when you do stuff with the like-minded people from Giga Art. Indeed. Jeffrey Pampusti, hello po. Again, guys, I will raffle out 10, 50 peso GCash at the end of this stream. Rob Balasabas, Phil Canadian podcaster. Yes, yes. All right. Mega, mega love. Shout out, Mami Lala. That's what Filipinos say, Steve.
Yeah.
If they come onto your stream. Okay, so that's like saying hi instead of hi. We say
Oh, that's
mega love
oh,
shout out. Can you do that, Steve?
oh
Mega
yes.
love shout out to the Filipino YouTubers.
Mega shout out.
There you go. Perfect. See? Steve knows how to do it the Filipino way. All right. Mega, mega love shout out, everybody.
Mega shout out.
All right. Hey, diet broths are expensive.
Yes, they
Okay,
are.
so we
Yes,
need
they
to
are.
give Tina diet broths. Okay, so shout out to the handsome co-host up there. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Sheila's vlog. Okay, so now that they have a place to go so that they won't pod fall or pod fade. Okay.
Paid, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So there they can go to Podcasters Live. All right. So we're nearing the end, okay, of our interview with Steve right now. But now we talk about something that a lot of them wants to. Okay, so they know about what content they want to do. Okay, they know that they should, not, that this is a long-term game. You
Yeah.
talked about starting with just the phone, right?
Mm.
So now
Mhm.
let's go to what do they need actually if they want to start setting up a podcast. Okay, it's
Yeah.
just a phone.
Yeah.
What else? How do they actually start a podcast, Steve? In a
Oh,
nutshell. Again, if you really want the step by
yeah.
step or the many, you go to Podcasters Live. A lot and tons of information over there. But in a nutshell, Steve, what do
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
need? So how can they start?
Yeah, well, I think the tech, right, is the one that I think sometimes will hold people back. And so I think the easiest way to do that is to try to simplify that with whether it's utilizing Anchor or doing this first. You can record an episode if you want to on your phone and then download that, so that way you can actually use a host if you wanted to do that. So there's two ways. You can use Anchor or you can use a podcast host. Like you Mami Lala and I were talking like offline about, there are so many different ones. There's Captivate, where you typically upload your audio podcast and they distribute it to all of the different platforms so that way people can listen to it. But even before you start that, because I wanted to get that tech piece out the way, because I can talk all day long about tech, and Mami Lala knows that, but I want to keep it simple.
Exactly.
You need a title. What's going to be the title of your podcast?
Okay.
Right? As my British folks say, they say it has to do what it says on the tin. So if the can says soup, there needs to be soup in here, right? Or if it's expensive broth, right? If it says expensive broth on the can, there needs to be some expensive broth on here. So I'll use myself for an example. The Worthy Podcast was super confusing. No one really knew what that meant. I knew I thought I did. However, Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy, you know exactly what you're getting when you get there, right? You're getting a podcast about retail leadership. The tendency is that people want to be clever. They want to have the Casual Birder, which is Susie's podcast. It's Casual Birder. It's exactly for the person who's a casual birder. I'm not an experienced bird watcher. I just like to watch birds. And here's the thing I'm going to talk about, period. So don't get clever with your title. Keep it simple. You need a couple of episodes, what we say in the can. So you need to have to kind of create a couple of episodes, like 2 to 3 episodes about a very specific topic. Don't get too bogged down and oh my gosh, these topics have to be super perfect or whatever. Just pick a topic that aligns with the title and what you want to talk about, and go ahead and talk about it. Period. I don't want to overcomplicate this as well, because I think that's what happens when we start to. That's with the fear of getting started. We start to do all these other things. But a couple of episodes, a title for your podcast, where you're going to actually upload your podcast to, because whoever you upload it to, they will help you get it on different platforms and make it that easy. And then once you do that, now that's a massive hurdle that you've already accomplished. Now you can start to think a little bit more about your content, but getting past those three, honestly, if you think about it, the title is probably going to be your biggest sticking point. I've helped so many people with that, because they want to have all these clever titles, But once we get past that piece, man, everything else kind of flows as well.
Absolutely. All right. So those are just the, nitty-gritty basics just to get you started, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So again, it's just the starting point that's really the most difficult. And I am a, I am a living testimony of that. So it's like I've been watching and always on the chat, when Podcasters Live is, live. But then and then Steve, no, you just start with this, you just start. But then when I'm actually doing it, like, no, I can't do this. And then when I watched that episode with Roy and you, and it's like, okay, and Roy, did that PowerPoint presentation, which I think I should have done also. All right, Roy, that gave me an idea next time. All right, so that made me, see, okay, exactly. Sometimes I think I'm a visual kinesthetic
Yeah.
learner. I
Yeah.
really need to
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I need to somebody to guide me through it. And so when I did that, okay, in my case, it's a little bit different, guys, because I repurpose. Because right now I have about 300, more than 300 videos on YouTube. Okay, and I think maybe 30% of those are interviews. So I have a
Mm.
lot of things that I can actually repurpose as a
Yeah.
podcast. So I started with that. But as Steve said, you can always start with just using your phone, record your voice, okay, and start with Anchor. Anchor is a free provider, podcast app. Is that it,
Yep.
Steve?
Correct. Yep.
All right,
Hmm.
all
Yep.
right.
It is. It
All
is.
right,
Yep.
but in my case, I started with Captivate. Okay, I forgot what I did, but I think I did like there was a questionnaire. I thought I was gonna do Buzzsprout because they said that's the best,
That's what I use.
podcast
That's actually what I use.
platform. But then they said if you are, just truly a beginner, you don't really know, yet a lot of stuff, then you're best to, start with Captivate first. So that's what I did. Again, that's what I did. It doesn't have to be what
Yeah.
you do. All right. So again, you do a little bit of research as well. Again, this is Tina. Okay, of course, Victor is saying, heart when when you start talking about tech. All right, so that's his favorite thing. All right, and Steve's a natural, says Tina. All right,
Ah,
a,
thank you.
a good job with Mega Mega Love shout out, Steve. Yes, he did. All right, and Sheila says, "I like your surname, Mr. Steve. It's so cool." Oh, thank you so
Ah, thank
much.
you.
Yes,
Thank
tech
you.
always is a concern for people. Yes, whether it be live
Mhm.
streaming, podcasting, I totally resonate with you all. But you can do it, guys. What I love about your podcast, okay, Captivate. Yes, so there's the Tech Heart by Victor. Okay, what I like
Mhm.
about your content, Steve, is that you always consider ways on how to teach out through different platforms.
Mm.
Yes, all
Thank
right.
you. Thank
So
you.
he really answers. So if so again, you need to subscribe on the YouTube channel, and then you need to hit that notification bell so that when Steve does go live, actually right now, that of already the future streams are already up there, right? So you can actually
Yep.
set
Oh yeah.
remind already, guys.
Yep.
All right, so you can choose which one will work out for your schedule. All right, so bone broths for Tina. Choosing a title for your podcast. Keep it simple. Yes. Actually, in the
Oh,
beginning, I did Mommy Guide Inc. And then I said, okay, so what do they get from Mommy Guide Inc.? Right? So it's like,
right.
okay, so
Right.
I changed that. I still retained my, logo, but then I
Yeah.
turned it into, because basically all my, my repurposing content would be about, conversations or interviews. So I said, conversations with Lala,
Yeah.
because it's a different topic. So I started with that. And I don't know if that will stick or if I have to, do a pivot somewhere along the way. We'll see.
We can talk about that one. We can talk about that one later
All right.
offline.
But at least now I start, right? I just needed to
You
start.
started. There you go.
Yes,
There you
so
go.
actually this is a perfect time to have Steve on, because I actually, finally started also, and I hope that you guys too do start. I'm still home getting ready for work, flying out tomorrow morning. Oh, tomorrow morning. All right, Victor, we're going to be looking forward to you going live from the Ecamm meetup. All right, that's starting tomorrow. I'm so,
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
envious.
Yeah.
I want to be there
Yeah.
next year.
Me too. I'm jealous. I'm gonna go next year. I'm so
Okay,
jealous.
me too, Steve. Hopefully, if there's no more pandemic, I'm gonna go there. Guys, libre yon, free. You just need to go there. Right? Yes. All right. Enjoy LA. No, actually, they're gonna go to, it's in San Diego, I think, Tina.
San Diego.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's San Diego. Doc Wayne! Hello, Doc Dwayne
How you
Wood. All
doing?
right,
How
and
you
Steve
doing,
Worthy and
man?
Mommy
Good to
Guide.
see
Wow,
you.
together at one time. Indeed. I think Doc Dwayne, do you already have a podcast? I think.
I'm not
I
sure if he does or not.
I don't
That's
know if
awesome if
I
he does,
actually
though.
chance
He needs
upon
to have
Doc
one.
Dwayne probably having a
He
podcast
needs
soon.
to have one if he doesn't. If he doesn't, he would do extremely well. Like his
Yes.
topic and content in the niche, like he would do extremely well. So
Absolutely, because a lot of people really, want to listen to, have good health, have health
mhm,
issues, and Doc
mhm.
Dwayne is, I had him on the show also last year, and there were so
Yeah,
many
that was
people was like,
awesome.
yes, didn't want
Oh,
to get him off because there are so many, the way he explains things, this
yes.
season and how to actually go about it. Super,
Oh,
super awesome, Doc Dwayne. Doc Dwayne,
he simplifies it.
podcasters
He
live.
simplifies. Yeah, man. He simplifies the intricacies of health and actually like
Exactly.
blood pressure and all these things is things that I struggle with. So you know, I love it, man. Good stuff.
Yes, he really is. It's like if I want to have a doctor, I want Doc Dwayne. He's
Yes,
like,
yes,
okay, you have
exactly,
any more
exactly,
questions? He will
exactly,
really try to make you understand. And that, okay, this is it. You can go. Get well.
exactly, exactly.
No. All right, Dr. Dwayne, thank you so much for being here. Mommy Guide is the parent company. Yeah, so I said Mommy Guide, but I changed it to Conversations with Lala. I had a list of names. I was like, no, no. I even like smooching with Mommy Lala, Q&A with Mommy Lala. So, so many other, possible topics. All right. Victor, yes, MGI group of companies. Whoa! Why not?
Oh,
All right.
there you
In the
go.
future, let's dream
Hey,
it. Okay, and let's claim
that's right.
that. All right. Safe travels, Mr. Steve Worthy. Yes, but that's next year, Sheila's vlog. The one
Oh,
traveling tomorrow is Victor.
yeah, I
Yes,
wish.
Victor. All right. So, okay, so the final question for
Yeah,
Steve. Okay, before we let Steve go, okay, and have his breakfast finally is okay, Steve, okay? So, again, we talked about how to actually set up your, the title, what do you need, as a starter for your gear. So, overall, just a summary. 5 tips for
yeah,
beginning podcasters.
yeah. I think this first one is so important, and a lot of people don't do it. You have to listen to a ton of podcasts. You have to just listen to a ton of podcasts. Yeah, everybody. I want to start a podcast. Well, give me your top three. Oh, I don't know. So you're right. So you have to listen to some podcasts in order to
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand a little bit more of like what podcasting is. And then that way you can also get some tips and ideas for your own podcast. I mean, I probably on a daily basis, I listen to at least 3 or 4 podcasts. And then, on the weekend when I'm walking or working out or whatever, I'm listening to a podcast. And all that does is just helps me understand a little bit more about what I want to put out as content. But it also educates me too about a specific topic. So make sure you're listening to podcasts if you're not doing that already. So that's number one. Number two, understand your why. Why do you want to do this? Because if it's something about, growing another side of your business, then that's great. Like make sure that it's specific to that. If you're very passionate about a topic and you want more and more people to know about it, great, right? So, but understand why you want to do podcasting. That way, when things get tough, you can actually go back to your why, and you can
Mm-hmm.
lean on that why. Because the tendency, if you don't have a why, then that's what happens. You stop because your why isn't strong enough. So you have to have a very strong why. Number
All
two,
right.
keep your message simple. Number three, keep your message simple. Right? Don't overcomplicate whatever it is that you're trying to talk about. Right? Don't talk about algorithms and all that stuff, and you're not really an expert in algorithms. Right? Keep whatever your topic is simple, because the simpler it is, the more people will listen and they'll gravitate to as well. So that's number three. Um, Run your ideas past someone with experience. Right? I think that's important. Right? The tendency is that we may start to shoot from the hip,
Mm-hmm.
and which is fine. But I think if you can have a trusted guide, someone, Tina Wan Kenobi, right? I just love her. I love her, right? But if you can have a trusted advisor, someone to help you, just kind of say, run your ideas through, run your process through, running your thoughts about your show through, like that's super important, because a lot of the tendencies that we just start But if you have somebody who can help you identify certain pitfalls, then it's important for you to go ahead and do that. And then lastly, start now, with what you have. Like, don't get bogged down in trying to overcomplicate what it is that you need to do. If you can start now, start with what you currently have, put a couple of topics. I am old school, so I actually have a whiteboard here, but I also write all my ideas out in pencil on a piece of paper or my notebook first, which is I know with the technology that we have, note takers and all of that stuff, I'm kind of old school, and I just start writing ideas down, and next thing you know, they start to take on a life of their own.
All
So
right.
the last one is start now with what you have. Number
All
5.
right. Awesome. Awesome. I am too the same, Steve. A lot of my community is the same because most of us are crafters, right? So we want to
Yeah, yeah.
notebooks and stuff, and we even decorate them, right? All right. So there you
Right,
go.
that's
Okay. Okay. Again, the first one, listen to a ton of podcasts. Number two, understand your whys. All right. Number three, keep your message simple. Four, have a trusted advisor you can run your ideas with. And finally, start now with what you have. All right. So awesome, awesome, Steve. All right. So before we let Steve go, again, okay, we would like to invite you over to Podcasters Live on YouTube. If you are not yet subscribed to it, please do so. Okay, hit that notification as well so you get notified whenever Podcasters Live, okay, with Steve and his many, many talented guests are live as well. And you can also please join us in our Facebook community. Okay, it's Podcasters Live. Okay, you can easily join there. Just a sum of the actual schedules of some of the people that is gonna be on guests the coming days ahead. All right. Okay. Again, Steve. Okay. Last time to look at the chat, and Sammy Superstar is here. Hello,
Hey, Sammy.
Sammy. Thank you. Thank you
Hey,
so
Sammy.
much. All right. Giga Art. Yay. Notebooks and pencils. Indeed. For us community. Okay. Again, this is the link, guys. All the links for Steve Worthy's socials are in the chat. Okay. So I will have to do the what do you call this? I promised them like a 10. Okay, 10 people will win 50 peso GCash. It's like a load for texting here in the Philippines.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and I'll
Oh,
do it
nice.
after. Okay, but first I will let Steve go. And Steve, what's your, last message for everybody here? Okay, who are
Oh, wow.
wanting to really, start their own podcasts.
Yeah, if you want to start your own podcast, one of the things that we do with Podcasters Live is that we help you get over the hump. Like, we've been doing podcasts and live streaming for a while now, so you can go to our Podcasters Live for the YouTube channel, but you can also, very simple, steveworthy.live, and that will take you directly to our newly launched website. You can check out everything that we have there, all of our featured guests, all the things that we do from a coaching standpoint. As well, we do a podcast audit, and we are going to be rolling out one-on-one coaching and group coaching in one of our private groups that we have as well. So thank you, Mami Lala, for being here. I'm excited. I look forward to hearing from any of you if you're interested in starting a podcast or have some thoughts or want to run some ideas by me.
All right. So, oops, it's black. They cannot see that, Lala. Okay, hold on. I'll just turn that to white so they can see it. All right. So it's
Oh,
HTTPS, right? HTTPS. All right. There you go, guys. And slash slash. All right. So there you go, guys. That is okay. So if you just want to go to just one, everything will be there. It's steveworthy.live. Is that correct?
yep, you got it.
All right, so everything will be there. All of Steve Worthy's socials will be there and more. All right, sorry, I will put that also in the description after this.
That's
All right, so
fine.
again, Steve, thank you so much for being here tonight, and hope to see you back again. Again, next
All
time we're
right.
gonna talk about business, so I'm gonna have Steve back again. All
Well, I'm
right.
excited about that
All
one
right.
too.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Steve. Bye.
Bye
All
bye.
right.
Bye.
Okay, now guys, let's start with the raffle. Okay. Again, thank you guys for being here. We're just waiting for Samantha to give me the list of the people in the chat so we can actually start with the wheel of names. All right. Again, you have to be in the chat and you have to say present, when I call you. All right. So Samantha, Audrey, okay, I sent you a PM. All right. Okay, somebody sent me a PM. Okay. All right. So there you go. Sistina, thank you so much. Okay. So Sistina actually already did. Thank you so much also for moderating tonight, Sistina, Sis Gigi. Okay, and even Doc Rhea for a while. I felt like Doc Rhea can also now be a good moderator, guys. Nakita niyo, ang galing-galing na rin niya kaninang mag-moderate. Oo. Again, all right. So, just okay, so for those who have left for a bit, okay, better go back now because we're going to start the raffle. All right, and again on Saturday, guys, I will be raffling off the winners to Sammy Superstars, okay, 2-day virtual conference for next week. Okay, so I hope that you can all be there. And again, also we will be raffling out, okay, whoever wins, okay, in Team Bahay for supposed yesterday's stream where you're supposed to actually start live stream. Okay, on any platform, whether it be on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all you need to do is put the link to that live that you did on Mommy Guide Inc.'s Discord server. If you don't have the link yet, just message me on Mommy Guide Inc.'s Facebook page and I will send you the link. All right, so going now to Mommy Guide Inc.'s, okay, Wheel of Names. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so these are the names of, okay, the people in the chat. Again, when your name is chosen, you need to actually say present. All right, so I'm shuffling. Okay, again, thank you so much, Dr. Elo. What a great guy. Awesome stream. Thank you, Dr. Elo. Again, Dr. Elo is one of the speakers in Sammy Superstars virtual conference next week. Okay, sent the list. Thank you, Superflus, and thank you, Tina. Yes, she made some very good points. Okay, and Ayin saying hi to Simply Lorenzo. Did you guys do your live streams yet? If not yet, then do so because you got a chance to win at least one of the tickets for Sammy Superstars conference, virtual conference next week. Okay, and if you really want to get in and you don't want to take the risk of not being chosen, then head on to summysuperstar.com and just buy the tickets from there. All right, so shuffling. Okay, first winner. Okay, so 10 po ito. Okay. All right, is okay. Tech Troublemaker, say present. Okay, Dr. Elo, all you need to do is be in the chat and you are here. So if ever you win, Dr. Elo, this is super duper big prize. You win $1. And I will send it to you by Buy Me a Coffee. Yes, $1 is a big money already here in the Philippines. That's already 50 pesos. All right, Tech Troublemaker. Okay, in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Roy is not here anymore. Okay, so we move on. Okay, so we'll shuffle again. Okay, so we'll remove, hold on. Where is Tech Troublemaker? Okay, there you go. All right, so we shuffle. Okay. Again, you need to say present, guys. All right. And this is, okay, it's Giga Art. Giga Art, say present. I know Giga Art is still here, hopefully. Okay, Giga. Okay, Giga Art. Say present, Gigi. Tulog na yata si Gigi. Alright, there you go. Gigi says present. Alright, okay, Gigi. Okay, the first winner of a 50 peso GCash. Alright, pwede ka na makauwi ng Pilipinas, sis. May 50 pesos ka na. Alright, congrats, Giga Art. Thank you so much, Simply Lorenzo. Alright, next, okay, is Testimony. This is Rico. I'm not sure though if Rico is still here, but let's do a countdown again. All right, this is Rico. Correct, pamasahe papuntang Pinas. Yes. Several $1,000s more. Pwede na. Yes, a present testimony, Rico. Alright. Yes, simply, tara. Gusto mo guest ka? Guest mo na kita sa aking podcast. Gusto mo? Mag-ano muna tayo? Collab? Ayan. Alright, so wala si Testimony. Alright, so we will raffle again. Okay, and then we also then have, okay, there you go. Shuffle. Ang sagot dyan, why not? Sabi ni Tina. Oo. Alamin daw natin ang why. Alright, basic networks and streaming. That's Victor. Victor and his coffee. Puro mga international ang nabubunot, guys. Alright, let's see. If awesome, Victor! Yay! Victor, actually, you won several times already. So, I could actually send it to your Buy Me a Coffee already. Okay? So, Victor, thank you so much for saying present. All right. Super proud of you, Victor. Victor, please go live. All right. We want to see, the eCam event live. Okay. Hopefully next year, we will be there, Victor, with you. All right. Next winner. Okay. So we have still Gigi and Victor. Okay. Oh my goodness. Still Giga Art. Okay. G. Say present again. Okay, present, Gigi. Okay, ayan. Asan na ba yun? Okay, so I will add, Victor here again. I just removed the ones that are not here. Okay, but the ones that are here, I will not remove. Sabi ni Gigi, present again. Oo, G, ayan. Okay, present again daw, sabi ni G. Alright. Okay, let's shuffle. Is it the same winner yet again? Yes, okay lang umulit. Tinatanggal ko lang yung wala. Okay, the one who is not here. Alright, Simply Lorenzo, Edmond Constantino, say present. Alright, say present. Oh, thank you for subscribing Giga Art to Dr. Elo. He goes live about 7 or 8 a.m. Philippine time, guys. Thank you so much, Gigi. Coffee and muffin yan si Giga Art. Yes, present. Okay, present na si Edmond. Alright, also known as Simply Lorenzo, guys. Okay, ayan. Okay, again, guys, ibibigay ko na lang ito kay Sir Norman kasi si Sir Norman ang expert dito. Makikisuyo ako kay Sir Norman. Alright, there he is. Thanks, Dr. Elo. Dr. Elo is still here. Alright, so shuffle. And next winner. So we have Gigi, Victor, Gigi, Edmond. Okay, who's next? Okay. Alright, Victor. Did he do the Victor? I think this is Basic Nash. Okay, na doble si pero that's Basic Nash. Victor, say present. Okay. So again, guys, if you are not subscribed to each other yet, check kung kanino pa kayo hindi subscribe and subscribe, please. Alright. Dr. Ila said present. Okay. I'm on the wheel twice. Yes. Okay. Yes, Victor, because it's unlimited win. So now you have $2, Victor, plus your other wins in the past. Okay. Woohoo. Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, thank you so much for saying present. Okay, Victor. Okay. Okay, April Robert Channel. Naku, kanino pa kaya si April Robert Channel? Please say present. Again, April Robert Channel. Yes. Dr. Elo's in the house. Yes, anak. Say present, April Robert Channel. Yes, Dr. Elo, Superfoods is my daughter. Yes, there you go. Again, say present. April Robert Channel. Okay, we don't have April Robert Channel, so we have to raffle again. Okay, April Robert, I am removing him. Okay, and doing the shuffle again, guys. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 more, guys. All right. Okay, guys, don't forget, okay, to this Saturday or tomorrow, no, tomorrow first, Friday, okay, Tina One Kenobi is gonna have another stream. Victor! Wow! You have an amulet. You're like winning again. All right, say present, Victor. Wow, Victor! You need to say present! Victor, say present! You need to type the word present, Victor. Alright, there you go. That's present. Congratulations. Alright, that's $3 now for you, Victor. Awesome! Alright, gonna send it out to you via Buy Me a Coffee or when you go live. Alright, so I'll watch out for when basic networks and streaming is present. Guys, if you are not yet subscribed to Victor, that's basic networks and streaming, that's Victor. All right, and of course, Dr. Elo, okay, over there in that chat as well. All right, so let's shuffle. Is it gonna be Victor again? Okay, let's see. Oh my God! You are killing the raffle, Victor. Say present. Victor, you have to say present. My goodness. All right, present. Woo! How many now? 1, 2, 3, 4 for Victor. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. My goodness, how is that? What an awesome lucky streak for Victor. Victor, you might win if this is the start. Victor, you might actually win if there's gonna be a raffle for the Ecom event. Are you gonna win the big prize if ever? Okay, I hope this is a good one for you. All right, next winner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more, guys. 3 more. Okay, seen by Tina One Kenobi. Sorry. Tina One Kenobi, say present. I know you're there. Come on. Tina One Kenobi. Tina, say present, Tina. You're saying hello to everybody. Well, present. All right. Tina was so busy, engaging with everyone, she forgot to say present. All right, so Tina won. All right. Okay, thank you so much. And then Igorotak is here, so let's add Igorotak. Okay, Miss Igorotak. Okay, let's shuffle. All right, next winner of a 50 peso GCash is... Oh, Dr. Dwayne. I'll be in Vegas tomorrow. This is dangerous. After Dr. Dwayne, are you still here? You have to say present, Dr. Dwayne. All right, let's wait if Dr. Dwayne is gonna be present. Okay, Dr. Dwayne. Probably Dr. patient. He's already seeing patients. All right. So Dr. Dwayne didn't say present. He's probably no longer in the chat. So let's shuffle again. Pwede na mag-present, i-manifest ko lang. Hindi pwede. You have to be actually there when I say present, Miss KM. Okay. Will you be driving or flying from Vegas to the convention? All right. So Tina is asking Victor. Okay. Hello, Sis Gigi. Sprinkle with cards. Okay. Let me see. Sprinkle with cards. Okay. Sprinkle with cards. Okay. There you go. All right. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Oh, flying. Yes, yes. It's okay, we have, naku, andito pa ba si Queen Bee? Queen Bee 84, say present, Miss Queen Bee 84, if you are here. Hopefully, we're gonna be having Queen Bee also soon. Okay, as one of my guests. Okay, Queen Bee 84, say present. Miss Queen Bee 84, say present. Okay, and KM is saying hi to Zell and Gigi and Sammy. Lala, my name is not in the will. Really, Dr. Elo? Okay, I'll check. Is that the reason why Dr. Elo's not winning? He's not in the He is not in the will? Okay, hold on. I'll double check. All right, so Queen Bee is not here, so she didn't say present. Okay, let me check. Dr. Elo said he's not in the wheel. Indeed, Dr. Elo is not in the wheel. Sorry, Dr. Elo. I love you.
Ay, wala din po si CJ.
Okay, and then we'll add Jeff.
Is he there na ba?
Jeffrey.
Is
Yes, yes.
Okay, ayun, he's there pala.
He's there. All right. Okay. All right, next. Okay, we have two more, guys. We have two more. Okay, Tina 1 Kenobi, say present. Okay, Tina. Tina 1 Kenobi. Okay, so Tina said, sorry, there are two doctors in the house. She forgot the other doctor, Tina, Dr. Yellow. And Podcasters Live. This is Steve. Thanks, Mommy Guide, for letting me on the show. I appreciate all of you and the questions. Thank you so much as well, Steve. We really had so much fun and information today. Dr. Elo, I'm so sorry. Okay, present from Tina. No wonder Dr. Elo's name wasn't, because he's not in the wheel. Sorry about that, Dr. Elo. All right. So, okay, so it's Tina again. So far we have 9. Gigi, Victor, Gigi, Edmund, Victor, Tina. Wow. Okay, how about the others? Come on, Will. The Will seems to have favorites tonight, right? Okay, the last winner, okay, is Edmund Constantino. Simply Lorenzo, say present. Simply Lorenzo, Edmund, say present. Okay, Tina said, I was busy subscribing to Dr. Elo. That's fine, Tina. Guys, if you're not yet subscribed to Dr. Elo, please do so. Alright, so I see Edmund in the chat saying, present! Yay! Okay, nakadalawa ka ngayon. Simply, ibig sabihin, simply, alam na. Yan na ang sign. Magsa-start ka na daw talagang mag-podcast. This episode is really for you. Okay, actually, ikaw ang inspiration ko sa episode na to, Simply Lorenzo. So, looking forward for you to actually starting your podcast soon. Okay, kung kailangan mo ng guest, andito kaming lahat. Just say so and we will be there. Alright, Dr. Elo is laughing out loud. Okay, anong routine mo today, Sis Tina? Ang swerte mo. Oo nga, nasa kanya ang bertud. Okay, thanks, Tina 1 Kenobi. Zell, nag-aaral ako mag-mod ng maayos. Alright, guys, kasi yung mod ko in the past, puro stand-up modding. Yes, is at Giga Art. Pambiling popcorn for tomorrow. Oh, diba? Again, guys, tomorrow we're gonna be having Miss Tina One Kenobi's, not on my channel, on her own channel, Tina One Kenobi. Okay, and she's gonna teach us cricut, how to do decals to personalize your, bottles or what have you tomorrow. So please join Tina tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to be there. I will ask her. But if ever, I'll be joining her either on live or on the chat. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 p.m. at Tina One Kenobi's. And of course, don't forget, okay, this Saturday, we're gonna be having botanical line drawing using Altenew. If you wanna join us, Team Bahay, don't forget to visit Mommy Guide Inc.'s Facebook page and go to the link so that you know what to do and how to join. All right, and of course, next Wednesday, we'll have one of our Team Bahay finally as a guest, okay, Miss Gladys Emlyn Barshal. We're gonna do vintage, finally a topic on vintage. Vintage pocket junk journals using soap boxes. So this is for next Wednesday. Ang ganda po ng thumbnail, di ba po? Because again, these thumbnails were brought to you by Giga Art. All right, our very own Gigi in the chat. Okay, again, thank you so much. Dr. Elo, thank you so much for staying till the end. Steve Worthy, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, I truly appreciate you being here, and I hope that this episode has inspired you to actually start your own podcasting journey as I have done as well. Alright, magpaparaffle din ako tomorrow. Oh my goodness, guys, Starbucks tumbler with decals. Okay, so wag na kayong pumunta para ako na manalo. Joke. Guys, ganda nga ng thumbnail. Oo, GG signature. OMG, Starbucks tumbler. Yes, so if you want to have that chance to win that personalized tumbler Starbucks tomorrow, please be on Tina One Kenobi stream, 7 p.m. Philippine time. Alright, so this was an amazing stream, Lala. Thank you so much, Dr. Elo. Mine po, sprinkle with cards. Akin na yan. Sorry, guys, you have to be there and you have to join her tomorrow so that you can have that chance to win. Again, thank you so much. This has been an awesome stream, and I'll see you again tomorrow on Tina One Kenobi's, and again for Crafty Nights with Mommy Guy Inc. on Saturday. All right, with that, thank you so much, and I'll see you again tomorrow on Tina One Kenobi's stream. Bye! I'm trying to look for my end. Okay, here it is. Okay, here it is. Thank you again so much, guys. Have a blessed weekend soon. My Friday nights pa tayo tomorrow with Tina One Kenobi. Bye! Good night. Good morning.